Hi there, my name's Donnie Carruthers, and today I'm going to show you how to change the thermal cutoff kit of a Whirlpool dryer. There are a few tools and supplies we're going to need to complete this job. The first is a pair of pliers. The second is a nut driver, which I have attached to a drill. And finally, the parts. We'll need the thermostat and the high limit thermostat. One of the first things we want to do before we start working on our dryer is to disconnect the electrical cord from the outlet. It's also important to make sure the ventilation of your dryer is disconnected from the dryer. Anything clogged up in your ventilation system can cause the dryer to overheat. There are about 8 screws on the back of your dryer that we need to remove before we can begin replacing the parts in our dryer. It's important to collect all of your screws so you make sure they're all in one place when you need to put this back on. Run away! Afterwards, we completely remove the back piece. It can be tricky to remove. Just lift up the electrical cord and pull the back panel out. The thermal cutoff kit was implemented into dryers around the 1980s as a means to prevent overheating of the dryer, which eventually would cause fires. One of the largest reasons for overheating of dryers is a lack of ventilation. Different fuzz and other things can build up in the back of your dryer that can cause and block the airflow throughout your dryer. So it's important to clean out all of the extras, the dirt and the grime that we see within our dryer before we officially replace everything. To replace the thermal cutoff switch, we are first going to pull off the wires connecting directly to it. It can be tricky, and that is why we often need our pliers to give us that little extra boost. And there it comes. It's important to remember to only take off one part at a time. We're going to unscrew this right here. Make sure you collect your screws, and then we're going to pull that right out. Now we're going to replace it with our new one. Fits precisely in to here. It fits in there snug. Just push it in and down. Then we're going to reattach our screw. And tighten it back down. Now we just want to reattach our wires. Now we're going to remove the main thermostat from the unit. We first want to pull off the bottom, and then the sides, and then the top of all the wires. Now we are going to unscrew that, and it pops out simply. Now discard that to the side, and let's put our new one in. Make sure it lines up with the screw hole that was already in place. And give that screw a good start. And let's tighten her back in. Alright, and let's reattach our wires. Now we want to replace the next one. Let's just pull off these pieces again. And as before, we are going to unscrew the nut. Put that off to the side, and that falls right out. As you can see, there's a little lip in this thermostat that we use to fit right into the hole. Reattach it like so while lining up the screw hole. Put our screw back in. Give it a nice start. And we'll tighten it down. Nice and snug. Now we'll reapply our cords. Alright, now that we've replaced everything, we want to plug it back in temporarily without touching any of the wires, and we're going to start it and see if heat comes out of the vent. And it looks like she's heating up just nicely. Looks like it's time to unplug it, put the back panel on, and start drying some clothes.